Hi, this is Jan from Long Distance Calling, and you're listening to Progcast.
Welcome back to the Progcast. My name is Dario, I'm your host, and this is episode 62. And as you heard, today we have a guest from Germany. It's not that long of a distance call, only a couple of 100 kilometers. We already had Australia and whatnot. But yeah, we're happy to have Jan from Long Distance Calling on the show today. How are you doing?
I'm fine. It's a lot to do right now. It's beautiful weather outside.
That's true.
And no, it's a good time for us as a band, besides the situation, of course. But yeah, there's lots to do at the moment and good news coming in. So yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, we'll get back to all of that in a second. We at the Progcast, we love to start our show actually with a little section that we like to call What's in Your Walkman, where we ask our guests and also say ourselves what kind of music, which songs or new albums or maybe some old favorites we've been listening to lately. So is there anything specific you can think of right now that you've been playing?
Yeah, it's
lately?
very diverse. What I'm listening to, it's not so much new stuff actually, but I really like Bishop Briggs at the moment, which is not a prog at all. It's a American pop singer. And I also revisit Pink Floyd every now and then. I'm listening a lot to Pink Floyd right now. And old Alice in Chains stuff. So it's very different and not that proggy, but of course there's always some Tool or a Perfect Circle on my player.
Any specific songs that stand out that you can think of right now that I could add to the playlist actually that we are compiling in addition to the Progcast always? Any songs that come to mind that you would like to put into the playlist next to the Long Distance Calling songs?
For me is Comfortably Numb from Pink Floyd.
Any specific any specific live version or the studio version?
No, the album version.
The album version, all right.
And Judith from A Perfect Circle.
Yeah, classic. Anything from Alice in Chains and the American pop singer, I didn't get the name earlier.
Bishop Briggs.
Bishop Briggs,
Bishop Briggs, let me think about it. Let's take River.
I'm super curious always to also check out the non-prog stuff. I mean, we had in the last days, in the last weeks, we had two guests who also suggested the new Lady Gaga album, for example, or the new Dua Lipa album even, and I'm happy to include that because that's like we're not narrow-minded proggers that like only listen to pre-70s prog or whatever.
No.
I really like the diversity, and that's because that's why I love having guests like you also bringing other stuff in that's a little bit outside of the genre.
I think that's prog, like the mix of everything. That's for me, that's prog. So
absolutely,
yeah.
I can get behind it. And yeah, Alice in Chains, you also said you love to listen to Alice in Chains. Any favorite songs from them?
Rooster.
All right. Cool. Yeah. Of course, I've been listening to a lot of music as well. This week, I would like to plug two songs. One is the new and the second single of international prog metal project called Aquae Furtivae, and the song is called The Path of the Lost. And we at the Progspace had the opportunity to host the single and the video premiere, and my good friend and colleague Van, who is also with us at the Progspace, actually did the lyrics video for that. So that was super exciting. It's a monster modern prog metal song with both clean vocals and growls. It's a top-notch song, and I can't wait to hear more from Aquae Furtivae. I've already talked about them on the show before this year. And the second one is from the new album from Kyros. We had Adam, the singer and keyboarder, on the show 2 weeks ago. And Kyros are from the UK, and they play a kind of 80s synth heavy kind of prog. And the longest track on the album's called Selexa Dreams, and the longest track on the album is called Invanta Black, and it's like, I think it might be the best prog epic of 2020 so far. I really love that song, and I'm gonna put that into the playlist, even though it's almost 15 minutes long, I think. Well, I mean, you guys also had some longer songs in your discography, right? So yeah, let's talk about Long Distance Calling. You guys have been around for quite some time already. Your debut album, Satellite Bay, it dates back to 2007. And you have, including the upcoming album, How Do We Want to Live, that is actually out this week.
On Friday.
It's gonna be your 7th album, all in all, and
exactly.
It is the first thing that grabbed my attention when the album info was released. The information about the album was, of course, the gorgeous cover artwork. And now, in the meantime, of course, also the like unboxing videos of special box sets surfaced. So yeah, this cover artwork, I have to say it's like one of the best of this year already, and it's just so beautiful. So maybe you can start with with talking about the collaboration you did there with the artist that did the cover artwork.
Yeah. So the guy is called Max Löffler. He's also from Germany, and we know him for a long time because he started doing shirt designs for us like 10 years ago, and now he's doing a lot of big stuff like for the New Yorker or New York Times sometimes, like some illustrations. And we thought he's the right guy for this album because we wanted something really visual and a bit more colorful than the last albums, like including the Black and White album. The last albums were a bit monochrome.
Yeah.
And this time we wanted to have more colors and to have more impact with the artwork. So he was the perfect choice for that, and he did the extra mile, I can tell you. So he did a lot of work for this, and there's an alternative artwork even for the box set and everything, and he did the single cover, so, and the social media graphics. So we wanted to have everything out of one hand. That was really important for us this time.
That also might that leads us actually directly into the new album as it is. How Do We Want to Live? Before we dive into the overall concept, maybe for the listeners who are not that familiar with with Long Distance Calling, with your discography, how do you guys work when you start writing an album and then go to recording? Were there any difference to the previous albums, and also how do you approach making music? Is the music there, even though most of your music is instrumental, is you always have like a very clear conceptual theme going on, especially on the new album? Is that, do you have that before you go and write the music, or do you write the music and then kind of model the concept around it?
That's a good question. Normally, we always start with the music, and we just meet up and we jam. That's how we write records. And normally we add the electronic stuff at the end when the songs are done. This time, it was like 50-50, like some songs started with an electronic idea and we built the rest of the song around it. But yeah, normally we just meet up and start to jam, and then there's a concept or a name or a title. But this time, for How Do We Want to Live, I think the idea was first, actually, for the first time, really. And then the idea became clear pretty quickly that it should be more electronic because it just fits to the whole concept of artificial intelligence and future. And yeah, so this was a bit different from the last times, but we always meet and start jamming. So, but this time we had another producer. Like apart from the last two albums, we found a new one this time, and we recorded the drums in a different studio as well, in a total nerd, top-notch drum recording space. So that was really nice. So yeah, we did a couple of things a bit different this time.
The production is definitely phenomenal. Very audiophile, I would say.
Yeah.
With such a big topic and concept over like the framework of the album seems very, very important this time around. Like starting with the album title and of course with the artwork, and then down to the song titles as well, and especially also the videos, of course. Yeah, how did you go about choosing the singles? And yeah, those videos are really something special, especially the last two, Voices and Immunity, of course. They have like really like powerful and also very clear and clear messages that lots of bands maybe wouldn't necessarily go and say, okay, we make a concept album out of this, and because it might cost us some fans or whatever. Yeah, so how did you choose the singles, and then how did the videos came about? As I said, for Voices and Immunity, as they're pretty powerful and they have like a strong message.
Yeah, we don't care if some people don't like it. It's just even though we are an instrumental band mainly, we have an opinion, and that's important for us to have this opinion. And we wanted strong videos this time, and not just playing somewhere and that's it. We wanted to, especially with the main video, which is for Voices, we wanted to have reactions from people and to include another topic into the artificial intelligence thing. Like the video, it deals about a relationship between a human and an android, a machine, and both are men. So there was this homosexual aspect as well. And we knew upfront that there will be some weird messages from Russia, for example. And there were plenty of them, but that's okay. And that's what we knew up front. And it showed that it's still important to talk about it in 2020. And for Immunity, this wasn't planned at all. That when Corona came up, it just fit so well. And then all these crazy guys came up with their weird opinions. And we just wanted to make the record straight and show that this is all bullshit and this disease exists and it's not just that was important to us.
Great. Yeah, we really appreciate in these times. We here at, I know I can speak for the team from the Progcast and the Progspace, that we definitely appreciate bands stepping forward and lending their voices to the good fight and the good cause.
Yes.
So kudos to that, and yeah, we definitely appreciate that. diving a little bit more about the thoughts and behind the concept about the future of the relationship between humans and artificial intelligence and stuff. I recently came about an article, or maybe it was a YouTube video. I actually didn't click on it. I didn't watch it or read it. It was I just read the headline, so to speak, and it was from like Elon Musk was kind of saying that in his opinion we should all embrace becoming cyborgs, so the artificial intelligence and the machines won't make the humans superfluous in the end, in the long run. So what are your thoughts on that?
It's very interesting, and we did a lot of research, and I know what he's saying, and maybe physically it's a good point, because there will be technology that will enhance us as humans, so we will be cyborgs in a way, which is good. If you have a problem with your heart or whatever, it's already a little bit like that. But I read an article from Ranka Yogeshwar, and he said it will take still a long, long time until machines will reach our level, because machines can do one thing really, really, really good, but the complexity of a human being is so much more, and that's just not possible to recreate this with a machine yet. Like, we can do so many as well, stupid things, but we can do so many different things that's not possible at all for a machine yet. So this will take still a very long time. And of course, machines need to learn from us. And it's a very, very interesting question, but I don't think humans will be super fluid, really. But we have to be careful.
Yeah, we're not there yet, luckily. Your last release before How Do We Want to Live last year was actually a live release from your Seats and Sound tour called Stummfilm, which is a silent movie. And you were about to continue this concept tour, but I think you moved the dates towards later point because...
Not yet.
It's still on for later this year.
Yeah, we're still waiting for someone to say
yes
we
or
can
no.
not do it. Yeah, because it's seated venues. This could be an advantage.
Yeah, but still, probably you if you can go forward with them, I'm assuming it might be that you can only sell maybe 50% of the capacity, and then every second seat will be taken out or something like that.
Yeah. So we're talking to our promoter. He's talking to the local promoters, and it's going back and forth. And let's see how it's possible. If it's not possible, it's not possible, and we will postpone it to next year. I think early next year. But we still hope that we can do it somehow, or at least a part of the shows, because of the federal system, it could be.
Yeah, different in
different
every
places. So, I just don't know. I really, really hope we can play some of the shows at least.
Do you have any insights into the tour booking as far as if venues now see that you can only sell like half of the capacity, that they would charge you as a band less to play there, or you know what I mean? Is there any talks about leveling the?
We don't know yet. Our promoter is talking to them, but I guess the deals have to be renegotiated or whatever, because it's less tickets then. Of course, this will affect the deals, I guess. Yeah.
But next week, I heard somebody told me that you have actually a very special release concert for How Do We Want to Live. You have planned for next week. Is that correct?
Yeah, next week there's a show in a car cinema.
Yeah.
In Oberhausen on July 2nd. Right.
So where I'm guessing you're preparing this show already. And are the preparations for a show like this different to a normal show? Is the stage bigger? I mean, I've never been to a car cinema.
Not really. Like the preparations are pretty regular, I would say. We have some visuals going on, but we just practiced like for the last days, and our sound and video guys, they are doing the video stuff and everything. So it's not really different for us.
I was gonna ask you now because it's I still find the idea or the thought of going to a concert and sitting in your car a bit weird. Is it like there's gonna be the possibility to listen to the live sound on your car radio if you're in the concert with your car, right? Or is it just a big PA?
Yeah, like you're sitting in the car and you're getting the sound inside the car. That's the plan.
All right. I've seen a little clip. I don't know. Maybe it was the same car cinema, actually. Like last week, I saw a little clip from German metal queen Doro playing. Yeah. And it was at the end of the show, I guess. And she was like running towards the cars, the first rows. And then she was running between the cars during her big anthem, All We Are, I think it is.
Yeah.
And well, some of the people were outside the cars, standing between the cars, and I was wondering, well, then what's the point of having cars at all if you're standing between the cars next to each other?
I saw it as well on another. Yeah, I don't get it. It's really weird, and it will be pretty weird on stage, but we like weird stuff and we like to try new things. So we just thought it might fit to the Seats and Sounds concept because people are sitting anyways. So, and we have the video stuff going on. So I think it's worth a try.
Are there gonna be a lot new songs already? I mean, it's the release concert. It's advertised as a release concert, so you're gonna play a lot from the new album, I guess.
Yeah, the most part of the album.
And there's one song on the album with vocals. It's not the first song in the history of long distance calling, of course, to have lead vocals. But this time it's. The singer is not as well known as many guests in the past.
No.
So, could you tell us a little bit how you found him, who he is, and how the collaboration was like?
Yeah, like he's called Eric Pulverich from the German band Karls Tolone, and he was just recommended by our producer, and is. Like you said in the beginning, it's album number 7, so we didn't feel the urge to have somebody well known for this album. So I think we just wanted someone who can sing well, and that's it. And there's no need for a big name or whatever. And he was recommended by the producer because he recorded with him a couple of months before. And then we checked it out and we really liked it. And now we're getting a lot of feedback that he sounds like Peter Gabriel or stuff like that, which is so funny because that wasn't my first impression at all. But now, after I've heard it a couple of times, I can really hear it in the song. It's really funny.
I will listen to it again and with that in mind. So when you compose songs with vocals, do you set out to compose this specific song with vocals, or just at one point you think maybe on this song vocals would fit, or is it depends from song to song?
Also this time there's another bit that's a bit different from the past. Normally we always did it like we had someone in mind, we asked him, he said yes, and then we wrote the song for him. And this time we just had a couple of songs, and this song was the most regular structured in a way.
Yeah.
It's still a weird song, but it had the most regular structure. And we thought this could maybe be a vocal song. And because of the part that's now the chorus, that was just screaming for vocals. So that was because we did it, yeah.
Nice.
And on top of it, it was another chance for us to go deeper into the concept with lyrics for one song, for real lyrics. And this song is written from the perspective of the machines. So that was interesting to have another narrational tool.
Another layer. Another thing that is also not new in the sound, I guess, but pretty prevalent especially in the first two songs, I think, are like voiceovers, or like did you record them or did you take them from movies, or how do you get them?
Like I said, we did a lot of research, and some of the stuff is inspired by other stuff, but we recorded everything ourselves. Like, we always have the same guy on every album who is doing the vocal samples. He's a Native American and a friend of ours, and he has such a nice voice. And on top of that, we had a girl called Sarah this time. She's from Canada, and she did the female vocal sample stuff. Yeah.
The first thing when you start listening to the album, and I guess it will stick in everyone's brains when they listen to the album, is curiosity is a real bastard.
Yeah. Which like almost was a problem because it's swearing. So, and now we have a parental advisory somewhere. Yeah.
On Spotify.
Yeah.
And hopefully it won't it won't disturb the album cover in one way or another.
No. It's fine, I think.
Yeah, great. It's it's definitely a big album, and I expect you guys to do even to continue your journey you did with the previous albums. I mean, you really worked your asses off to get to the point where you are now, and I have the feeling you really have a statement with this big statement, both not only with what you have to say, but also, of course, musically, and kind of you show the world, okay, this is us, and this is where our path has led us musically as well, and also like. Success-wise, I would say that you guys been doing pretty well for a weird German instrumental band.
Exactly. Always when somebody asks me what kind of music are you playing, I said, well, it's weird music, but we just like to do things differently, and we realized pretty early that as weird as it is, it's also pretty catchy, because we all think that hook lines are very, very important in music. I don't listen to music where there's no hook lines, but it doesn't have to be vocals. It can be a guitar solo or a sound or a rhythm or whatever. Just some points in the song we're looking forward to, like a climax or whatever. And that's what always was very, very important to us. And when we started the band, everybody was saying, forget about it. You're from Germany and instrumental. This is no. And we are always like a little bit of a punk rock attitude. Okay, we'll show you. So that was, And it started as a fun band, which is the funny thing. We never wanted to be instrumental. We just didn't find anyone. So we said, okay, let's do it instrumental. And then we realized that this works for us.
Yeah, the interesting thing about long distance calling, I think, is that of course you guys are not like limited to one genre or limited to prog or not.
Yeah.
And you're neither limited to the post rock or whatever genre. Yeah. I think there's certainly a lot of people from these who like listen to mostly only stuff from this genre, that they find something appealing in your music. But I also think that your music could be appealing to people from outside of the prog and post scenes.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what we realize. Of course, everything has pros and cons. And of course, we never wanted to be part of a post-rock scene because we don't really understand what it is. It's just, I don't know, like this genre thing. We just do what we're doing, and we have a little toe in a lot of different genres, but not a big toe in one genre. But I think that's a good thing. It just takes a little bit longer, but I think it will last longer as well, because our audience, I've been to so many shows in my life, and I've rarely seen a so diverse audience as we have, because it's so different. Like, there's a young indie girl, and you have the 70-year-old Pink Floyd grandpa, and now to this point we have pretty much of those older Pink Floyd guys, and this is just great because they've seen the original and they know what's the deal. And that's always very nice, talking to them after shows when they're totally flashed and that, well, we're just this band. And it's funny. Yeah, it's a lot of different, it's people from a lot of different angles. And I think that's a very good thing.
Absolutely. It's very cool. Now, you personally also connected to long distance calling, but for you, this is not the first podcast you're participating in. I mean, you started your own podcast even together with your bandmate Janos, I think was the drummer. You have 3 or 4 episodes now, and it's in German, right?
Yes.
And the title translated would be something like "Laughing into the Buzzsaw."
Yes.
So, what's your podcast about? What stuff are you talking about there for German listeners who might be interested in checking out your podcast as well?
Well, yeah, it's called "Lachend in die Kreissäge," like you said, and it's we are on the phone anyways, like 3 or 4 times a day. So we said, why not record it? And we're talking a lot to each other, and the idea was just not to tell all totally stupid stuff or what's so great. We found it very interesting to talk about stuff that doesn't work and what you can learn from it. And there's always fuck-ups somewhere, and everybody has them. The question is if you want to talk about it or not. And we just said, why not? So I think that's a funny thing. And yeah, we have another episode recorded that will be out next week with a pretty famous German metal musician. And that's also really funny because all of them have to say something about stuff that didn't work out. And you only always see the good stuff, but there's a lot of shit that nobody talks about. And that's pretty interesting, I think.
That's the interesting stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I'm really curious. I'm going to check it out if I find the time. But yeah, curiosity is a bastard. It will win in the end, always.
Yeah.
If you
curiosity is what keeps us alive. Yeah.
Yeah. It's if you're really curious about something, you will make the time to check it out.
Yes, and it gives you so much energy. Like, I'm really bad with stuff I don't care about. But when I'm really interested in something, I have so much energy for this. It's crazy. It's just, yeah, it's funny. So you need to be curious. People should be curious.
People definitely should be curious about how do we want to live. Not only the question, pose the question to themselves, but of course also listen to the new long distance calling album that's out on Friday, June 26th through Inside Out Records, right?
Right.
Inside Out Music, it's actually called, the
Yes.
label. Yeah, best of luck with the album, with your album release show. I'm looking forward to seeing pictures or some video snippets from next week from the show.
Me too.
All the best with all that, and of course, we all hope that soon we all can go back to concerts and that you guys can do your second part of the Seeds and Sounds tour, or is it already the third?
No, it's the second. Seeds and Sounds.
Yeah. So
thank you very much. I really hope that we can do it, because as much as we like writing songs and doing albums, we are a live band, so it's just we love to play.
Yeah,
and but for this you need new songs. So
yeah, the new songs are coming. And yeah, for those who can't wait to see or to get a glimpse of the live experience, there's always the live album and DVD Stummfilm from last year. Still,
which we finally did, because we were asked a couple of times, and we always said, if we do it, we want to do it right, and we need some money for this, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And this time the record company said, yeah, well, let's do it. And that's fine, because, yeah, it should have a good sound and good pictures and everything. Nobody needs a bad live recording. That's
that's for sure. Yeah, thank you very much for joining the Progcast this week. As I said, all the best with the new release, and hopefully see you live one day. I mean, we're both in Germany, so once you come through Munich, I'm sure we'll find a way to check it out, in case I'm here as well.
And now I have a question for you.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Later today, I have another interview for a UK magazine, and it's about a special they're doing about porcupine trees in absentia. Okay. Anything you want me to ask or to say about this album? It was actually my first encounter with porcupine tree.
I don't remember which was my first encounter for porcupine tree was, but I really fell in love with them with Fear of a Blank Planet only. That was like quite late in the history of porcupine tree, of course, but when they started out, I was too young.
The one after, one before Deadwing.
Yeah, but that I don't know. It's a weird album because it's so catchy and compact. All those compositions, and I mean, I just love Fear of a Blank Planet because, of course, Anesthetize is on it, like with almost prog metal heaviness and epic song structures, and so it's very, very different from my favorite porcupine tree stuff. I still love it, but
for me it's Deadwing. I think it's my favorite.
Yeah, Deadwing has a bit of both. Like exactly. Arriving Somewhere But Not Here is one of the most beautiful. It's 12 minutes, I think. So and they go by like 3 minutes, and it's just an epic feel and a great song from start to finish. It's one of the best songs in this length, I would say.
Do you think they will ever come back? I really hope. As much as I like Stephen Wilson's solo stuff, not everything, but a lot of stuff. But Porcupine Tree, for me, it's the real deal.
I mean, we're gonna have a reunion of Liquid Tension Experiment, so it seems. So, and you for a long time, people thought Mike Portnoy and the other Dream Theater guys would never talk again with each other. So there's always the possibility, and people are craving for it. The fans are craving for it. For my understanding, or I get a little bit annoyed by fans, both of the Porcupine Tree fans and like the Dream Theater fans who are just so annoying with their constant when is the reunion gonna happen?
Yeah.
But yeah, it could be potentially great if it happens.
I think it just can be great if he really likes to do it and not feel like he has to do it in a way. But I think he's a guy who doesn't do what he don't want to do. So I think it could be really good. And I was also very, very scared of the Tool shows last year because I'm a huge fan and it's a long time.
Yeah.
And it was so good.
I've seen them. My history with Tool is I've never been a big of Tool listener at home, but I always respected the band, of course, and I know of their significance for the genre and the like also heavy music in general.
Yeah.
And I had the opportunity to see them on my 18th birthday for the 10,000 Days tour back then, and that was an amazing thing. I'm not that much sold on the new stuff, so and I also didn't go to see them last year.
The record is a bit difficult, I have to say. But I saw them at Rock am Ring last year, and before them there was Smashing Pumpkins and Alice in Chains and playing, and they blew them all away. It was just holy shit. That was so good.
That show from the 10,000 Days tour I saw. It was in Stuttgart in the Schleierhalle, and it was just mind blowing with the visuals and the and the laser show. It was a trip without needing I didn't need to take any drugs. I was taken on a trip by the audio visual show itself. Yes.
And that's what music should be about. I think that's a great final word.
The Progcast is a production of Stuus Media and is recorded at the Moonbase Studios in Munich. It is produced by Randy M. Salo, Janine Stengel-Lewis, Blake Lewis, Kai Metzner, and Dario Albrecht. Our theme music is by This Is Not an Elephant.